Alright guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a good day. It's LazyBeast here, and today we're going to talk about the proposed changes to hunter pet specs in Battle for Azeroth. Now, as you're probably aware, the alpha testing is underway for Battle for Azeroth, and it's very early alpha, and most things that happen in there are obviously subject to change and can and probably will change at some point. But we've got some information about hunter pet specs which may surprise you, may enlighten you, may disappoint you. Let's dig in. So it looks like in Battle for Azeroth, hunter pets, well, the families for hunter pets will be locked into a specific spec, so you will not be able to change the spec of your pet once it's tamed. They'll just have a spec given to them, and that is that. They will be locked in. Now, I've made, with the help of the information from Wowhead, I've made a little handy chart so you can see which pet families will fit into which spec, so we can have a little look at that now. Now, some of these make sense, some of them don't. And kind of initially upon seeing this news, I kind of thought, well, that's okay, that kind of makes sense, that's fair. But then you start thinking about it and things are a bit like, why do they have to be locked into specific specs? There's no real point. Now, what surprised me the most is that, I know it's only 3 families, but Cunning actually has 3 extra pet families available to it than Ferocity and Tenacity. Now, I'm assuming, if you're like me, Ferocity is what you use for 99% of the time. With your pets, and Tenacity, maybe you'll use that if you're wanting to solo like a world boss or something like that, you know, or you're doing like quests and you're pulling like 20 mobs at a time, whatever, you use Tenacity. Now, Cunning has always been seen to be kind of like the PvP pet spec, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they want us to be using that more in other scenarios as well, giving them the extra families. So if you look at the ones that kind of do make sense, obviously like you've got your tanky ones, your Tenacity pets, your bear, your beetle, your crab, they all make sense, but things like Dragonhawk and River Beast, maybe Stag, really tanky. And then obviously for Ferocity, if you look at the ones that we get, they're all fine. But even things like the Nether Ray, really, shouldn't that be in Cunning? And things like the Serpent, shouldn't that be in Cunning as well? But just look at the ones that, you know, obviously we're using Ferocity most of the time. Look at the ones that we don't get. So the Mechanicals, for example, obviously the Mechanical Scorpids, they make sense as like a Tenacity pet rather than a Cunning. It does make sense, obviously Mechanical have been made to do the Hunter's bidding, so they can do whatever they want. Thematically it makes sense. Things, I don't know, there's some in there that just don't really fit with the spec. Now, I know there's always going to be pets that could kind of make sense for every spec, you know what I mean? If you think maybe the Corehound, that could make sense for Tenacity, it could make sense for Ferocity, and it could even make kind of sense for Cunning. So I know obviously on Blizzard's part there's probably a bit of a difficulty in which pet do you put in which specs. So there's probably obviously going to be some tough choices going on there. But there's 2 kind of big arguments as to why it's a bad idea to pigeonhole pets into certain specs. One is that this is a game, it's a fantasy game. If you want to have an army of goats tanking, then why should you not be allowed to do that? If you want to have an army of rodents gnawing away at people with Ferocity in that spec, why shouldn't you be able to do that? And also as well, people pride themselves on the appearance of the characters. I know I definitely do. So everything like your transmog and the weapon that you use, you want your, even the mount that you use, you want your pet to kind of tie in with that. Now, I know some people really don't care, but if you've got, say, like a nice green transmog, and you're a DPS, DPS, I don't know what stupid thing to say, if you're just wanting the DPS pet purely, and you wanted, say, a nice Dragonhawk to go with your transmog, but you couldn't do that because it was Tenacity, and you didn't use that. So some pets, I don't know, it just ain't going to be able to fit nice and easy as it used to have any pet you wanted, and you could make them Ferocity, and they would do your job in any situation. It was nice. Now, the absolute worst thing about this change is that Spirit Beasts, our renowned, beloved Spirit Beasts, are becoming Tenacity. What the hell? Like, this is the worst thing. Like, they should have just stayed Ferocity. I don't understand why they're becoming Tenacity. I guess because the spirits, maybe they don't take as much damage or something like that. I guess that was maybe the logic of the people making this decision. But really, I just don't think they're going to end up being used that much as Tenacity. I don't know why this would be the change, but please, come on Blizzard, change this back. This is just silly. So basically, without trying to ramble on, I'm just a bit concerned that this is going to feel quite limiting, rather than being, you know, you're a hunter, you can do whatever you want, you can tame these beasts from the wild to get them to do your bidding, you know what I mean? But really, no, you can't, because they only want to do certain things. It just seems a bit limiting for no real reason. Was there really a problem with hunters having any pet to be any spec? I don't really think there was an issue with that, so why change it? That's my argument. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd be interested to see your thoughts. If you think this is a good idea or a bad idea, let me know. And with that, guys, thank you very much for watching. I've been LazyBeast. Have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks.